Zipslings here, welcome back to the debriefing. Today we have another submission from Ish, again in the Breacher. This time it is called Scram, Kite versus Brawler. If you didn't see the last video, go check that out. We can talk a little more about the fit. In this case, we're going to hopefully see a textbook example of what scram kiting is. For those that don't know, scram kiting is essentially using a scram to hold your opponent at arm's length. There we go, arm's length, to minimize their damage while you're dealing basically your maximum damage, or enough damage that it's more than they can handle. You'll see this with sort of mid to long range ships or weapon platforms versus brawlers. And in most cases, when we're talking about brawlers, we mean blaster ships. So we'll have a look at what the brawler is today. One thing I want to note before we even start, the overview is causing trouble here, and that's because we have there's some space at the top here, and then the directional scanner and the local window stacked up over here. Just as a matter of space economization, your overview is the most important source of information. I would recommend considering extending your overview and moving the D-scan to the local window to elsewhere. But that part aside, we're in low-sec again. We are inside a complex already. Let's see what happens. There's a Merlin on scan. Okay, so there's our brawler, the Merlin. And if this is in fact a textbook example of scram kiting, we should expect this to be very one-sided. We're going to Afterburner on, scram web the enemy, and basically deal damage to them out at the edge of scram range, and they're not going to be able to deal any damage to us. So Merlin starts approaching, and I just want to note one thing here. We can't tell how fast the Merlin is going because of the overview issue over here. So just keep that in mind. It's pretty important to know some of this stuff. Actually, we can't tell how fast it's going because you don't even have that on your overview here. All right, Ish, take note. Having velocity on your overview is very important. Fix that. All right, moving on. Oops, I said moving on. Okay. Merlin is at 4K, 3.9, closing, 3.6, 3.4, 3.2, 3K. This is bad. This is not good. This is not where we want to be at all. Okay, so we're going to slingshot. Check this out. This is pretty cool. We are slingshotting this Merlin. What that means is, let me run back here real quick to when the Merlin was at 3K, let's say. Merlin's getting closer and closer and closer. We are burning away from it. And turning around. So basically the Merlin passed us, heading this way. Let me try and draw this real quick. We are heading in this direction. The Merlin is catching up to us, right? Once, you know what, let's do it this way. We are Minmatar, so we're red. We're heading this way. The Merlin is catching up to us. The Merlin's faster, apparently, which is interesting. As soon as the Merlin catches us, right here, we are actually going to reverse course and head this way, and hope that some of the Merlin's momentum is going to take it out a little further this way so we can gain some distance, right? We want to increase this distance here, right? This distance is not going to cut it. We're not scram kiting if it's right on top of us. So as soon as the Merlin catches us, we're going to turn around, and that's what we've just done here. The brakes, he'll fly right by. So see how this goes. We can watch the distance here grow out to 1.7 and then start to shrink again. So the Merlin's just faster than us. I wonder if it's a dual. It is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Merlin should be, right, based on its slot layout and its bonuses, should be a shield ship. But because mid slots are so valuable for control in low sec fights, this Merlin is actually armor fit, and that allows it to fit an Afterburner, a Scram, and probably 2 webs. It's probably double web fit, and that's the reason that it's faster than us. So the Merlin can keep up, even though it shouldn't be able to, which is its only chance of winning. Because it has to be on top of us to deal damage. The problem with this is that its armor tank is going to be very weak, and we're going to see that here. So even though the Merlin's on top of us doing lots of damage, it's still going to take a lot of damage from us. We can watch the armor just get chunked here. Even though he's got an armor rep, clearly, there's just so much incoming damage. And our ship, on the contrary, is a lot tankier than his, and the Merlin goes down. So, not a textbook example of Scram Kite at all, actually. The Brawler caught up to us and was able to keep up with us the whole time. The only reason that we won was because in order to make that Merlin able to keep up, he had to sacrifice a whole lot of tank. So his race against the clock just didn't work. There's too much incoming damage for that very thin armor tank on the Merlin to handle. So hopefully that sheds a little light on that little engagement there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one.